Hey guys, Tahan here with Midwest Gaming. I just topped the 250th YCS in LA with Spright. I'm just going to go over the deck. I think it's really good, and I think my build is phenomenal. I put a lot of time into it, and obviously I lost instantly in top 64 as things go, but I went X2 in Swiss, finishing day 1 X1, 17th place after Swiss, and this event was really cool. I played, I think, 8 different decks in 12 round tournament, so it was very diverse, and my deck was kind of built with that in mind. But it is just a Spright deck, only a few changes compared to the European models that you've seen. Played 3 Prosperity, obviously, 3 starters, because not bad. 3 Itellies, just more starters. I played 2 Talents. This card's really good. I wanted a card that was kind of a board breaker, kind of an engine card, and this is probably the only card that fits that category ever, I think. And I played 1 Gamma Burst. That's my only non-engine spell that I played. Trap, just double cross, and then the hand traps, 3 Imperm, 3 Ash, 3 Gamma. I didn't play Smashers anywhere on my list. A big reason is that I think of the main meta decks, the only card that it trades well with is Runic. And something unique, not like unique, but noteworthy that happened after the Elf ban was that everybody knows now this deck has no really continuation. So Smashers is just too costly in that you lose level 2 monsters, whereas Double Cross, you get to keep everything you have on your board, and I think that's super relevant. I think like it's actually not an even trade if you're losing your monster for their monster, and the versatility of Smashers, obviously being able to be a playable card going second, is just not really worth it because it's still not that good because you still kind of have to be playing to start with, and a lot of times we're just going to lead out with like a Book of Moon or something, so you just won't be able to activate it. And I think that was too steep of a cost to pay. I didn't miss it all tournament, but obviously that's too result space to say, but I think it's correct just not to play it right now. I played 2 Fenrir in the main deck. I thought about making this 3 and then playing a Rise Heart in my extra deck, which obviously would have been good sometimes, but this card is more of just like a... I don't think this card is strong enough to always want to see, as dumb as that sounds. I don't want to, like, I don't have to see Fenrir. It's not like a few formats ago where Spright decks were just tucking in at everything. This kind of just fits into the Talents category where it's a board breaker and an engine card. And game 1, a lot of the time this card can force hand traps or force Book of Moons, which is really relevant because they don't know what deck you're playing. You just lead out Fenrir and you just play Spright cards, and it's really good. The main reason I played this is because I wanted to have some chance against Barrier. I just couldn't really find a way to make Spright win versus Barrier, and the only saving grace was that that card doesn't see too much play right now because it's just not very good against Castura. And it's not like it's really only good against Spright and Branded. So the answer was either play Tri-Brigade Spright and just link summon a lot, and that's like 5 extra X top thoughts. And I think the strength of Spright is the toolbox that you get to play in the extra deck. And I don't want to commit 5 slots to 1 engine. And then the other alternative was just play cards like Fenrir. And it was really good into Barrier a lot of time. I won a duel against Barrier round 11 that would have been unwinnable just because I had Fenrir. Anyway, monster's pretty standard. Beaver, 2 Angler, not 3 because I have a way to discard it. And then 3, 1 of each, no Pixies, and then just a Melffy package. So it's 40 card main deck. No Book of Moons anywhere. Anywhere on my list, actually. Obviously, with the high representation of cash in top cut, that was probably a mistake. But I think cards like Book of Moon that I deem to be really powerful are just either 3 or 0. Like if I think a card is good, I'm just going to play 3 of it. Obviously, Fenrir is an exception because I'm really only playing 2 because I want to be able to trigger the effect to search. So like legally just trigger it because it can force stuff out. And then Talents is a card that, you know, conflicts with multiples if you draw 2s. It's not good. Book of Moon, drawing multiples is never... They're always going to be live. So if I think that card's playable, I should just max on it. I'm not just going to play 1 or 2. And I just didn't have room in a 40 card deck to fit it in. And I didn't think it was as good versus other decks. And it just didn't make the cut. And I think that might have been a macro error, but that's like something I thought about a lot. But I never lost... I mean, I lost a Spright Mirror in top 64, so I don't know. Book might have been okay, but who knows. That's like the one card, if I could change my list at all, I might incorporate Book of Moon somewhere, but I don't really know how or where. Because this is like one of the tightest decks I've ever built. 3, Gigantic Spright. I think 3 is just a concession you have to play because you're going to go first. Your second one's getting Unicorn, then you don't have a third one for your pushback, you're just going to lose. 2 Sprint, pretty standard, nothing to explain here. This is a going first card that I made sometimes, but not all the time. This is probably my 15th card. I didn't play Cerberus, I didn't play Rise Heart like I mentioned. There's so many cards I want to play. This made the cut just barely. But it's just good with some boards, or like versus some decks and some scenarios. This is a very good card to make. It's very good against the Runic decks because they don't have battle phases, so you can just you know, all the Naturius stuff doesn't matter. And even though he's really weak, there's no way for them to threaten it without your spell cards. Melffy package. I didn't play the bad Melffy guy just because of space, and I thought that it would never be better than making Herald ever, and I was right. Phoenix is my only Link monster for going second. This is my only going second XYZ, and then I played a 5-card Zeus package. Mosquito is pretty standard, and then down it obviously 2 Zeuses because you need to, and then this is the best card in my deck by a lot. Eagerly Plump. The first line is the only one you have to read. It says once per turn you can target 2 spell or traps in either player's graveyard, attach them as material. So you take their Theosis or take any card at all, but the point being is that they're always sending things in defense mode, so you're just getting 2 materials for free, and you're just making 6 material Zeus. And every time I had 6 material Zeus, I never lost the duel, which is a lot. That won me around 11 and 12, or sorry, just 12. And then the side deck, 3 Eradicators. Spright's really, really weak to cards, to heavy board breakers like Evenly and Dark Ruler. So just draw phasing this on your gigantic Spright is just gonna totally eviscerate Castria decks, Runic decks, trap decks like Labyrinth and Trap Tricks. Every deck basically except Spright, because they have a lot of quick plays and a very heavy monster engine. So this card just goes for us pretty much versus everything, because even if you're not hitting the main deck, you're hitting their board breakers and their, you know, power cards. And then even if they just have 1 or 2 monsters, they can't do anything if you just have any response at all. And you're usually gonna have a Herald or something. So you just win every time this card resolves, unless it's Castria and they just have like a 4-monster hand and you don't have anything. But if you have even one thing, 4 monsters don't do anything. So the card's really good. Solemn Judgment, this is the most generic, I think, best, just hard negation going first cards. As I mentioned, you lose to those board breakers. So if you don't draw Eradicator, you just hold this for those. Dark Ruler, this is the best, I think, board breaker in the game right now for like a Zeus deck. I was playing Nibiru, and we just talked about it in testing, and we thought that siding a board breaker made more sense than siding more hand traps, and I think it was great. This card was really good, obviously very good against Spright, okay against Castria if they're not locking you, very good against Runic. Don't really need to explain Dark Ruler, but I think it's the best one. 3 Cosmic, don't need to explain that. I played 1 Harpies, 1 Change of Heart, 1 Resonator. This card never went in my deck. I never won at a time. I don't know what this would have been. So I essentially played a 14-card side deck for this event, but I don't know. I'd have to table it more. All in all, I think this deck was really successful, super well built. It won 1 of the 3 events, and Castria won the other 2. So in hindsight, maybe it was the wrong decision, but I don't regret it at all. It played super smoothly. I feel like I had a really good cash matchup, despite not even having Book of Moons in my deck, which is crazy to say. But I don't really have anything else to add. My tournament was a pretty good experience, and I played really well. And obviously losing top 64 sucks, but I'm just happy that I got to top because I practiced a lot with this deck. Anyway, Tahan here. Hope you enjoyed the profile. Midwest Gaming. Thanks.